What is up, guys? We are back with some more Destiny 2 news and a lot of conversation about changes coming in Year of Prophecy alongside the Edge of Fate expansion. It's now only a month away, so that's nice. Today, we do get Bungie's blog post, and as they promised, we do get a lot of conversation about the upcoming changes for Edge of Fate in more detail. So Bungie go into a few more specifics and answer some questions. We'll also round up some additional news, game updates, and teasers for upcoming content in the next few months. So if you guys enjoy the video, do us a favor and hit subscribe. Half of the viewers on the channel don't actually follow, so if you find yourself regularly watching my videos but haven't subscribed, then that would do us a massive favor. But for now, let's get into it. Before we get into the TWID, a couple of quick updates here. The Legend title actually disappeared after the patch that we had on Tuesday. You may have noticed that, but Destiny 2 team offer an update and they say a server-side fix has been issued to address that, so should be visible as intended now. Otherwise, if you're still grinding any of the Rite of the Nine stuff, this week we do get boosted drops inside of Prophecy. After this week though, Bungie will change the rollout, with all of the dungeons being featured at once, which will be nice, although there will still be boosted loot weeks. So keep it in mind. Otherwise, as we discussed yesterday, while we have seen a couple of exotics that will drop in Edge of Fate, there's a lot of speculation about a possible additional one right here that we can see in the heavy slot as a strand weapon. This appeared in some gameplay shared by a sound designer working for Bungie. We can see it's in the current build of the game as we do have the ammo meters and stuff there, but is a yet to be revealed exotic weapon of some kind. So certainly interested to check it out, and I'd love to get any speculation on what that weapon could potentially be down below. Otherwise, for the minute, let's get into Bungie's blog for the week. The first thing Bungie speak about in the TWAB is the Rite of the Nine calendar. They have reiterated this a few times, so you can see all of the important dates on the screen right there. One new component that they do outline, starting June 24th, the Emissary will offer a handful of exotics for players looking to round out their exotic weapon arsenal. More will be added each week through to the launch of Edge of Fate. So I guess we'll be able to spend the currency in order to actually pick those up, which is definitely interesting. Give me your thoughts below. We'll have to see which exotics we get specifically. Otherwise, from July 8th to 15th, there'll be this Loot Palooza component with increased currency rewards and weapon drops from enemies in all dungeons, and even more increased loot from the final boss chest when completing all encounters. On top of that, there'll be another component they outline here. Starting July 1st, a new item called the Nonary Engram will be available from Rite of the Nine. They say the Engram is filled to the brim with hand-picked cosmetic rewards spanning multiple years of Destiny content. Some are newer, like Hollow Chips, while some are a blast from the past, like Crimson Daisy emotes. So from July 1st, players may purchase Nonary Engrams by using 350 Nonary Manifolds at the Emissary. Then from July 8th, players will be awarded one Nonary Engram each day just for signing in. So that's an interesting additional component. I'm sure some folks will want to add to their collections with those cosmetic items, so give us your thoughts. Up next, they start to speak a bit more about Edge of Fate. There's not a massive amount of detail here, although some pretty important details. So firstly, they speak about bounties that will be going away. They say bounties will of course receive an update alongside Edge of Fate. Many bounties, such as destination bounties, will continue to exist in their current form, and that'll work as a way for players to get some XP while exploring the EDZ, Dreaming City, or other areas. Others, such as armor synthesis bounties on Ada 1, will receive a small update to help players earn progress across more activities in the portal. And so to help players avoid the loss of XP, Glimmer, or other rewards, we're providing a quick list of bounties that'll be removed with update 9001. We recommend redeeming all bounties before July 15th, but in terms of those which are staying, we can see them on screen. So destination bounties for EDZ, Cosmodrome, Nessus, the Dreaming City, the Moon, Europa, Throne World, Neomuna, and Eternity, these and Starhorse ones. But also clan bounties and armor synthesis bounties will technically be sticking around. In terms of what's leaving though, they say for vendors it'll include Trials of Osiris, Gunsmith, and the episodic vendors Failsafe and Ido. I don't think they're referring to the vendors leaving the game necessarily, at least not for Saint 14 or Banshee, but more specifically for the bounties themselves. And they speak about Ada 1's role moving forward. They say one of our greatest fashion vendors is getting new duties when Edge of Fate launches. Don't worry, she'll keep bounties available so players can earn the necessary materials to unlock armor customization currencies, but they've been simplified, removing activity-specific requirements and introducing flexible, activity-agnostic objectives for optional pathways and progression modifiers. There'll be one exception to that though: raid and dungeon bounties will remain as they are now. On top of that, Bungie say Ada will provide a way for players to focus exotic armors at the launch of the expansion, as we announced last week. Players will be given an amount of currency to focus armor pieces with a specific stat package as they embark on their new journey into Year of Prophecy. They note players must play Destiny 2 before July 15th to receive these currencies, hop in today and start getting ready for launch. That's an interesting addition, I guess, but we can see right here Ada's menu with this exotic focusing options, and that will allow us to focus previously discovered exotics with the Paragon archetype, guaranteeing super as a primary stat and melee as a secondary stat. So we're basically able to purchase them with specific stat packages. Bungie have outlined, I believe, that exotic armor won't actually get tiers, so this won't affect the tier of reward, but the stats more specifically. Moving on though, they say our forgetful gunsmith Banshee 44 will also receive an update so that he can help Guardians route out their collections with legacy gear. If there are any legacy weapons you've been looking for to complete your arsenal, or if you're a new player in need of some initial gear, or are simply looking for a handful of weapons to start with in Edge of Fate with desirable perk rolls, Banshee will offer legacy weapons for purchase. All of these will cost a small amount of enhancement cores and glimmer, so Banshee's still holding on to some legacy weapons. Otherwise, they say the shooting range will be available from day one. An update regarding the shooting range that will come with Edge of Fate, following the footage we've seen where we have many enemies and enemy types which we can call on to test abilities, supers, weapons and their perks. The plan initially was to launch this new area at the tower 3 weeks after the expansion launched, and that was originally going to be alongside Arms Week, but they've said we've changed our mind and you'll now be able to test your build starting July 15th on day one of Edge of Fate. So that's a good change, especially with all the new rewards that are coming into the game. There were concerns that obviously we're getting a raid at the end of the first week. So having the shooting range there from the beginning is beneficial in that sense, and generally it's going to be nice for players when checking out the new gear. So a positive update on that front. Otherwise, for Iron Banner in Edge of Fate, they say when it launches, Iron Banner will be on hiatus for a time. Essentially, it will return in September when the Ash and Iron major update arrives. So for those looking to scratch the Crucible itch, we'll still have a variety of game modes available. For starters, Heavy Metal will be coming back as an event in the future. Also, starting on July 29th, Trials will have new weapons and armor to earn as you prove yourselves every week through September. We'll have further details in a future twin on more PvP playlists options, but we'd like to call out a new playlist coming on week 1 of Edge of Fate, which is Cutting Edge. This allows only featured seasonal weapons, armor, and exotics to be used against opponents. This will provide a fun space not only to focus on newer gear, but to focus up on the meta, and we're excited to see which weapons rise to the top and what builds come up outside of the tried and true exotic pairings that we commonly see today. So, a couple of updates for game modes, a slightly extended hiatus there for Iron Banner as well. Here though, they talk about Gambit, and they're sunsetting it. Actually, that's not quite true, but nearly true. So as the expansion approaches, we wanted to share with you all that Gambit will also be taking a form of hiatus. Players will still be able to play the activity and earn legacy rewards for transmog purposes, and the activity will live under the Worlds tab as it does now. If there's any specific gear you're looking for, the Drifter will still be able to focus them as a vendor. They do add though, it's not the end of Gambit. Besides continuing to support the mode for legacy rewards and triumphs, we have plans to bring the spotlight back to Gambit in the future with updated rewards and mechanics that players haven't seen since the days of Prime. So maybe Bungie returning to something a bit more like that in the future. But for today, those are really the important parts of the TWID. They say each week will shed more light on all of the changes coming in Edge of Fate, and we'll monitor your feedback. I'm surprised Bungie haven't gone into more kind of written details about some of the upcoming changes, you know, whether it's Armor 3.0 stats, the tier system, or power reworks, as otherwise most of that has been revealed via content creators, which is certainly an interesting approach. I'm sure Bungie will touch on it more, but obviously I think we're only going to have, 4 more TWIDs before Edge of Fate, and between all of the new systems and then of course sandbox changes and other things that Bungie will want to outline, that's going to make for some very, very busy blog posts, I'm sure. I'll do my best to keep you posted with that when we get to it though, so get subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell if you do want to be kept up to date, share your thoughts on any of the things we've spoken about in the video, but otherwise thank you for watching and I hope you guys have an awesome day.